Start out by the invocation. Prophet Margarita Martinez. With it. If you can lead us in the prayer. Thank you.
Thank you. Lord, we are meeting today to conduct matters of business. Guide our hearts and our minds in the spirit of fairness, right thought, and speech. Impart your supreme wisdom upon our activities so that our affairs may reach a successful conclusion. Impart an Issachar anointing to understand the times and increase revelation. I declare and decree, Isaiah 50, that the glory can be seen on you and radiate off of you. Abba, thank you for being our source of guidance today. Amen.
Amen. Now, if Mr. Eddie Houlihan can lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
Will you please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance to our flag? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And a little bit of housekeeping here, folks. That Mayor McComb is in Washington right now. That we've got military affairs that without our congressman, they're putting the military budget together, and then he's going to be working on some regulatory issues. So that's the reason that the mayor is not with us today. And one other quick note that we're doing a trial run on YouTube. So in the future, to increase the accessibility, that the council meetings will be available on YouTube. Today is a trial, so anybody looking, it's the first time. Thank you. Okay. Ms. Huerta, could you please call the roll?
Mayor Joe McComb is absent. Mayor Pro Tem Greg Smith.
Here.
Council members Rudy Garza.
Here.
Paulette Guajardo.
Present.
Michael Hunter.
Here.
Debbie Lindsay Opal.
Here.
Ben Molina.
Here.
Everett Roy.
Here.
Lucy Rubio.
Present.
City Manager Margie C. Rose.
Present.
City Attorney Miles Risley.
Here.
Mayor and Council, a quorum of the Council and the required charter officers are present to conduct the meeting.
Thank you. And now we have kind of for us an exciting bit. At this time, I would like to ask Mr. Everett Roy, the newly appointed council member for District 1, to please come into the well. Ladies and gentlemen, Everett Roy has been appointed to serve as the council member for District 1. We appreciate your willingness to serve the city in this capacity and wish you the best in your endeavors. Ms. Loeb.
I will now administer the oath of office. Please raise your right hand. State your name after I say the word I and repeat after me. I,
Everett Roy,
do solemnly swear or affirm
do solemnly swear or affirm
that I will faithfully execute
that I will faithfully execute
the duties of the office
the duties of the office
of City Council Member
of City Council Member
for the City of Corpus Christi
for the City of Corpus Christi
in the state of Texas,
in the state of Texas,
and will, to the best of my ability,
and will, to the best of my ability,
preserve, protect, and defend
preserve, protect, and defend
the Constitution and laws of the United States
the Constitution and laws of the United States
and of this state
and of this state
and of this city.
and of this city.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Council Member Roy, would you like to say a few words?
First of all, I just want to thank everybody that is in attendance today, and I have This is a day that I've looked forward to. I appreciate the individuals that were involved in the process, the district. I'm looking forward to working in the district and serving the council and the citizens of Corpus Christi. And look forward to hearing from you. And thank you very much.
We're going to take a 5-minute recess, so if Everett's family come up, council, to join him in this great day. And Councilwoman Guajardo is going to read the proclamation for us.
Good morning, everyone. An estimated 40 million Americans have some type of communication disorder, costing the United States approximately $154 to $286 billion annually due to lost work productivity, special education, and medical treatment. The City of Corpus Christi is pleased to join all citizens in celebrating Better Hearing and Speech Month. We salute all the audiologists and speech-language pathologists who have chosen their professions and work tirelessly to bring better hearing and speech to those individuals who are affected by communication disorders. During this annual observance, our focus should be on the needs of our citizens who have some form of hearing, speech, or language impairment. One of our goals is to ensure that everyone has access to the audiology and speech-language pathology treatment that will help them lead full and productive lives.
Now, therefore, pursuant to the powers vested in me as the Mayor Pro Tem of the City of Corpus Christi, I do hereby proclaim May 2018 Better Hearing and Speech Month in Corpus Christi, Texas, and urge all citizens to join in the local and national efforts to raise awareness of the importance of better hearing and speech for all citizens, and do what we can to help so everyone can lead a full and productive life. If y'all, anybody, something to say so we can hear?
Hello, I am Jaime Lugo. I'm the temporary executive director at the Deaf and Hard of Hearing Center. We have many wonderful programs and services related to the community with a hearing loss as well as to the hearing community, and our mission is to provide resources, advocacy, education, and training for those who are deaf, hard of hearing, and also the hearing communities who are impacted by hearing loss. So we have wonderful resources. If you have a hearing loss or different issues that may come up that are concerning for you, we have all the resources available. We are definitely a one-stop shop. So we have a very exciting event coming up on May 18th. It will be the College Day and open house. So if you're curious about those with a hearing loss or what kind of programs and services we provide, please feel free to stop by, take a look around, and see what we have to offer. We also have a raffle for a free pair of hearing aids from the Hearing Aid Company of Texas, which is really great. And I'd like to introduce here Mr. Bill. He'd like to make a comment.
I'm Bill Stalter. I'm Secretary of the Hearing Loss Association local chapter. The Hearing Loss Association supports those who have some degree of hearing loss. We meet the first Tuesday of each month, the first Tuesday of each month at the Deaf and Hard of Hearing Center.
Hi, I'm Maria Madrigal, and I'm the Administrative Assistant to the Executive Director, and I've been there about a year.
Hello, my name is Charlene Scott, and I work as the Community Relations Specialist at the Deaf and Hard of Hearing Center.
Hello, I am Amy Salinas. I am the events coordinator, and I deal with a lot of the youth programs and their camps.
Good morning, I'm Carla Gardner. I'm the board chair for the Board of Trustees.
I'm Benna Timberlake, a former executive director and a community interpreter.
I'm Barbara Price, and I'm part of the Board of Trustees.
Hi, my name is Tony Lahuja. I'm the board trustee.
Councilman Roy, if you want to come down and join us.
Okay, I just wanted to get rid of it.
Our next proclamation is for Elder Abuse Prevention Month. If you all can come down and join us in the well.
People who are elderly or have disabilities have contributed to the general welfare of this city by helping to preserve customs, convictions, and traditions of many people from diverse backgrounds. These residents are vital and integral members of our society, and their wisdom and experience have enriched our lives. Abuse of the elderly and people with disabilities in domestic and institutional settings is a widespread problem affecting hundreds of thousands of people across the country. In 2017, there were 114,305 reported allegations of elderly and disabled persons being abused in Texas, of which 51,314 were confirmed. Elder abuse is grossly underreported because the elderly who are being abused find it very difficult to tell anyone and are usually ashamed and sometimes afraid. Elder abuse happens to men and women of all income levels, cultural and ethnic groups, whether they are in good health or incapacitated in some way, in poor neighborhoods or suburbia. Many of the cases investigated by Adult Protective Services in Texas involve self-neglect, and it is our duty as citizens to reach out to people in need.
Now, therefore, pursuant to the powers vested in me as Mayor Pro Tem of the City of Corpus Christi, I do hereby proclaim May 2018 Elder Abuse Prevention Month in Corpus Christi, Texas, and urge all citizens to work together to help reduce abuse and neglect of the people who are elderly and have disabilities. So who gets the... And a few words?
Yes, sir. Good morning, everybody. My name is Jennifer Catalani, and I'm a program administrator for Adult Protective Services here in our Corpus Christi office. Elder abuse, as mentioned, is extremely underreported. Estimates say for every one case we receive, 24 go unreported. And if you look specifically at financial exploitation, which is the most underreported allegation, they say for every one case we receive, 44 go unreported. So it's extremely important that we raise awareness and empower individuals with the information of what to do if they suspect elder abuse, neglect, or financial exploitation. And that's simply to give us a call. We have a 1-800 number. That's 1-800-252-5400. You can also report online at txabusehotline.org. We have an event coming up on May 24th, our 12th annual training symposium for service providers and professionals who provide services to the elderly and disabled. We will offer CEUs. The registration deadline is this Friday, so you can always feel free to contact me or grab me before I walk out the door. And I can give you more information about that. With me today, I have our Corpus Christi staff, as well as 2 members of our 501c3 nonprofit board, the Silver Advocate Partners. I'll just
Lisa Oliver, City of Corpus Christi, Senior Community Services Division. And just to note that the city serves as a partner through the Silver Advocate Partners. So we're as a resource through senior center members and also those involved with the home delivered meal program, and in addition to other city departments.
Hi, Mary Lou George. I'm a facility owner of National Adult Daycare, and we're here to serve the public for adult daycare while you work. Thank you.
Natalie Vasquez, Adult Protective Services here in Oasis County. Edith Yenninger White, Adult Protective Services here in Nueces County.
I'm Tabitha Villarreal here in Nueces.
Marissa Back here in Nueces County.
Anna Cormier, APS Specialist, Nueces County.
Sylvia D. Alvarado, APS, Nueces County.
Lisa Subeldia, Nueces County.
Cameron Smith in Nueces County.
Isaiah Acoboa, Nueces County.
Sorry, one thing I forgot to mention is our local numbers in Nueces County. We completed 1,751 investigations in 2017, and we confirmed or validated on 890 of those. So this is something that's going on in every state, every city, every zip code, including our own. Thank you.
Thank you, and picture time now, so. Councilwoman Lindsay Opal, would you join us in the well? Our next proclamation is Drinking Water Week. So, all right. You can see when you drink the water what happens to you. That's right. You get stout.
Our very own, or we're just going to sell? Yeah, well, yeah.
We are. Superior water system.
Come on in. It's a friendly bunch over here. Squeeze in. These are the friendly going. There's room.
Got our book in between Mark and Dan.
That's right. All right, we got the folks in charge. All right. So this is important to all of us, and I'm surprised we didn't just call it Drinking Water Year, but I guess we don't do that. So water is our most valuable natural resource. Tap water delivers public health protection, fire protection, support for our economy, and the quality of life that we enjoy. Any measure of a successful society, low mortality rates, economic growth and diversity, productivity, and public safety are in some way related to access to safe water, which this team and a whole bunch of others make sure that we have. We are all stewards of the water infrastructure upon which future generations depend. Each citizen of our city is called upon to help protect our source waters from pollution, to practice water conservation, and to get involved in local water issues by getting to know their water.
Well, and thank you, folks, for a superior water system. We've had our water issues in the past, but now the Corpus Christi water system is rated superior, which is quite an honor. So thank you all for your hard work. Now, therefore, pursuant to the powers vested in me as Mayor Pro Tem of the City of Corpus Christi, I do hereby proclaim May 6th through 12th, 2018, Drinking Water Week in Corpus Christi, Texas, and encourage all citizens to know the importance of tap water plays in the success of society, from meeting the basic public health needs of providing safe drinking water and adequate sanitation to promoting dental health and supporting industrial, agricultural, medical, and recreational activities. Mr. Grimsbo.
This is a good honor for us. Yes, a couple years back we had a couple issues, but over the past 2 years, this team and the whole team of utilities and every support department within the city has helped us make huge improvements with water quality, moving projects forward, and I'll be honest, it's an honor and a pride to us to say to the residents of Corpus Christi, we have fantastic water. So I'm going to leave it at that.
Hi everyone, Gabriel Ramirez, Assistant Director of Water Quality and Treatment. And we have great water quality.
Hello, everyone. I'm Courtney Sal. I'm a water quality specialist.
Good morning. I'm Jennifer Cletus. I'm the work coordinator for water quality.
I'm Sadie Russell. I work in operations.
Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Peter Draven. I'm a lab operator.
Raymond Gonzalez, water quality.
Alan Rodriguez, water quality.
Seguatin, maintenance. Gilbert de los Santos, utility maintenance.
Reba George, support.
Tim Wakehoff, superintendent maintenance of lines and meters.
Becky Aldridge, support.
Mark Van Vleck, assistant city manager.
Time's up, folks. Picture time. Here's a fun one with a great bunch of folks. Lemonade Day in the Coastal Bend. Come on down and enjoy us.
Nice to meet y'all. Y'all go ahead and line up right next to the Doing all right, everybody? Follow line up. Look out for me. Nice to see you. How are you? How are you? Ready to make some lemonade?
Tell me that.
Good. How are you? Hey, Eric. Barbara, good job. That was great.
I can't believe they asked me to come up here. I get to stand next to lemonade. Go ahead. Lemon zest. I'm going to stand up. Lemon zest needs to be.
I'm sure. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm sure it's hard to tell what I'm going to be reading on this proclamation, but it is Lemonade Day in the Coastal Bend this Saturday. Lemonade Day is free, community-wide educational event providing today's youth with the opportunity to learn the spirit of enterprise, teaching the basic business and entrepreneurial skills necessary to become successful, contributing members of their communities. Lemonade Day has a core philosophy of spend, save, share that is implemented by teaching children how to start, own, and operate a business, learn goal setting, develop a business plan, give back to the community. Lemonade Day offers opportunities for families, businesses, youth organizations, faith-based communities, neighborhoods, institutes of higher learning, and government agencies to unite for a common purpose, to train the next generation of entrepreneurs. And for all you little ones up here, just to let you know, the first time I was ever in the newspaper was when the Collard Times drove down our street on Lemonade Day, because my brother had the most exceptional lemonade stand up. And I tell you what, because of all that, he's a lot more successful than I am. So y'all keep it up. It'll point you in the right direction. Just keep making that lemonade taste good. Lemonade Day is an event which demonstrates to young people of the Coastal Bend that they are important and our citizens care about the future. The City of Corpus Christi salutes and commends the United Chamber of Commerce, Foundation, volunteers, and participants of Lemonade Day Coastal Bend, a program that advances life skills, character, and entrepreneurship, and extends best wishes for a successful, rewarding observance and tasty lemonade. Here you go.
A quick note about these young leaders, that last year in the 2017 class, one of these young entrepreneurs donated their entire proceeds to the mayor's Hurricane Harvey Relief Fund, $380, and from a lemonade stand, that's a lot of money. So it shows what a fine bunch they are. But now, therefore, pursuant to the powers vested in me as Mayor Pro Tem of the City of Corpus Christi, I do hereby proclaim May 12, 2018, Lemonade Day Coastal Bend in Corpus Christi, Texas, and encourage all residents of Corpus Christi area to participate and have a role either selling or, more importantly, buying lemonade on Saturday, May 12, 2018. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much on behalf of the United Chamber Foundation and in partnership with the Coastal Bend Home Builders Association Parade of Homes. We are happy to bring this event to the Coastal Bend for the 6th year. We're hoping for another successful day, and I'd like to turn it over to one of our entrepreneurs who will do a proclamation of gratitude.
Hi, good afternoon, everybody. My name is Shania Esquivel, and I am the student body president at St. John Paul II High School. We, the 1,000 plus young entrepreneurs representing the Coastal Bend by virtue of the limited authority of our Lemonade Day Coastal Bend Director, Mrs. Yvette Lara, we thank you for your support, commitment, and love for education and entrepreneurs. Your help gives us the ability to dream big and know that one day we could own and operate our own business in Corpus Christi, Texas. Your support of our certificates of occupancy allow us to proudly say that on May 12, 2018, we are actual businesses in Corpus Christi, Texas. That makes us so happy, and we feel very important and special. Your love and support gives us wings when sometimes people tell us that we can't soar. Your commitment to education strengthens us so that someday we can be leaders and possibly the mayor. Your thirst for lemonade will help us succeed on Saturday, May 12th. Therefore, be it resolved that we, the Corpus Christi's young entrepreneurs and future leaders, do salute and commend Mayor McComb and our councilmen and women, and we extend our thanks and best wishes to you. Thank you for believing in us and Lemonade Day Coastal Bend. Remember, when life serves you lemons, make sweet lemonade.
Perfect, perfect, perfect. Okay. Alrighty. Smile, lemon heads. Thank you. Thank you. So much. Lemonade. Nice job. Good job. Thank you. And you, Mr. Sponsor, thank you.
I'll tell you what, your building shows up like one day.
Got to shoot up. Hey, thank you so much.
I got 4 lemonade stands. That's the best one.
Oh, yeah. I like it. Thank you so much.
You're in one of our models on the south side. Come on out.
guys are marketing.
I'll get you some. You want me to get you addresses? By the way, he's up in DC.
Girl, you be careful. Here comes the lemon head.
Texting was like, oh my gosh,
I'm the mayor.
Thank you so much. Good luck. Have fun. Thanks for stepping up. Gonna own your own business at a young age. I love it. Have fun. Thank you. I don't know if there's one up there or not. Here you go. Thank you.
How are you, my friend? Good to see you.
Congratulations. Another good day. Thank you so much.
12:30.
Thanks. Thanks for coming out.
Thank you.
The city secretary's office for you.
Have a good day.
Okay, National Peace Officers Memorial Day and National Peace Officers Week. If you all want to come down and join us in the well.
Go that direction.
Woman Rubio.
Thank you, sir. Go as far to that direction as you can, so we can make sure we fit all of you guys in there.
Hello, hello. Hi, Chiefs. I get to do this one. Yay! Hi. How are you, sweetheart?
Hey, everybody,
hello
move on
there.
down. Come
Good
on,
to
no
see
gaps
you.
here.
Hi there.
I want to fit you all in here.
Hello. Welcome.
We got a group.
Hello. Thank you for being here.
Now you tell me.
Come on in. Have to squeeze in a little bit. Good afternoon. Hi there. Hello there. I know you. And I know you too. Got to see you all. Good morning.
2 rows.
Hello there.
So you can
Then
put
squeeze in.
other Terry and your friend in front, and Lucy will be in front here too. And okay, come on, come on, come on. Yay! Thank you. All right, squeeze around. Squeeze.
We all squeezed in? Okay. Good afternoon, everyone. National Peace Officers Memorial Day and National Police Officers Week. The police officers of America have worked devotedly and selflessly on behalf of the people of this great country, regardless of the peril or hazards to themselves. Police officers have safeguarded the lives of property and their families. By the enforcement of our laws, these same officers have given our country internal freedom from fear of the violence and civil disorder that is presently affecting other nations. These men and women, by their patriotic service and their dedicated efforts, have earned the gratitude of our entire nation. The City of Corpus Christi Police Department is recognizing those courageous fallen heroes who have given the ultimate sacrifice for the citizens of our community.
And folks, this is just a small representation of the approximately 400 officers that are out serving 24 hours a day, working to keep our streets and our community safe. Now, therefore, pursuant to the powers vested in me as Mayor Pro Tem of the City of Corpus Christi, I do hereby proclaim May 14th, 2018, National Peace Officers Memorial Day, and May 13th through the 19th, 2018, National Police Officers Week in Corpus Christi, Texas, and encourage all citizens to show their appreciation to the police officers of our great city and take a moment to remember these professional officers who have given their lives in the line of duty. Chief Mark.
Thank you. Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem, and thank you, Councilwoman Rubio, for taking the time to recognize all you council and city manager and all you folks. That is an unfortunate part of our job, is that officers are sometimes, quite often more than you would think, hundreds of times a year, forced to give their lives in the line of duty. So we take a day and a following week to remember those officers who gave their life serving their communities. It's something that we do with pride. Our job is something we are very prideful of. We do it with honor, dedication. We are very, very proud of our folks here, all of us who serve the police department, not just the sworn. This is a day I always want to include all of those folks who support our police department, sworn and non-sworn. When an officer loses his lives, it impacts everyone in the community and everyone within the organization. And we want to thank you all for remembering those who have fallen. We've had our share in this city. Cities around the nation will be remembering those who have fallen in the line of duty all of next week. We invite you all to our memorial service, which will be next Monday. There'll be one following Tuesday at the county, and we hope to see you there, folks. So thank you.
Thank you all. If we can take a picture. Big hand for our PD.
Trying to get to the back row, girl.
I know, that didn't work. Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Okay. Our next item of business will be public comment. And first I would like to recognize Commissioner Carolyn Vaughn. She's out in the audience today, so thank you for coming, Ms. Vaughn, and keeping an eye on things. But we have public comments. You can come up and say anything about everything that you want. There's a 3-minute limit to it. If you look on the podium, on the left side of the podium, you'll see a timer that shows the amount of time that you've used up with it. You need to, if you would like to speak on an agenda item, you can speak now or you can speak when the agenda item comes up, but you can't speak both times with it on there. So if you haven't signed up, when we finish up with the sign-up sheet, then you're welcome to come back up. So first, Miss Tina Butler. And Ms. Butler, one last thing. We as council, due to the Open Meetings Act, we cannot comment. So folks that have not seen public comment before, it's not because we don't want to comment, but the Open Meetings Act does not allow us to comment. We're here to listen and not comment back. Thank you. Ms. Butler.
Thank you. My name is Tina Butler. I reside at 1450 Cambridge Drive here in Corpus Christi, Texas. I am a native and resident of Corpus Christi. I'm also a taxpayer, but I'm here today as president of a nonprofit organization called Texas Association of Black Personnel in Higher Education. And in short, we say TAFE. The TAFE is comprised of personnel from educational institutions throughout the Coastal Bend area. We are hosting a Juneteenth in the Crest Juneteenth celebration. It actually started out as a medical fair for men because oftentimes the women and children go to the doctors, but our men do not. And me personally, I've had several friends and relatives that I know who have just recently passed in their 50s. So this event was to provide services to residents in the Hillcrest area. Mainly our men, but it is free and open to the public. We are also having a job fair at the festival. as well as financial literacy provided to the residents. As you may well know, that the residents have until 2019 to make their final decisions regarding they're transitioning out of the Hillcrest area. So we're trying to bring that information to the residents as well as observe Juneteenth at the same time. Make it a fun event, but also an informational event as well as medical. And in paying for the parking permit, and I've held several other events, but mainly at Heritage Park. In paying for the parking permit for this park, Dr. H.J. Williams Park, aka Hillcrest Park, I was asking what did the parking permit include? And I was told that it was inclusive of cutting the grass, and what else? Cutting the grass, the bathrooms, etc. The bathrooms at Hillcrest area have a lock on them. The grass, it is cut now, but it wasn't then, but I wanted to ensure at the time of the event that the grass would be cut. There was only one pole with electricity. I personally have invested $1,500 to make sure that some of this happens because I am just that adamant about helping my community. I grew up in 1903 Winnebago, and I also went to Roy Miller High School, graduate from Miller. So I am adamant about providing information to the residents that are there, which is why I personally, provided money to start this up. But in speaking to different people, I get different answers. So I'm coming today for the city to help me. There's only 2 barrels there for trash cans. When I asked about the electricity, I was told that there was no poles there that had electricity. I have pictures here today, before and after. It was electricity. Is that it? Okay, sorry.
Yes. Assistant City Manager Keith Selman, if you could communicate with Ms. Butler to see if we can assist her in the issues.
Is it possible to provide the emails? Okay, this is for the council. Okay.
It's directly behind you.
Okay.
Okay.
Afternoon, Juan Araiza, 5921 Shadowwood. I was here last week because the mayor was quoted on the news media and public that he was going to have a special meeting, and one of the things he was going to discuss was the 30, 60, and 90-day policy as far as the water issue that happened with Sam Kane. He also wanted to, according to what he said on Channel 6, that he wanted to talk to the management and see how we got in this predicament. So I showed up, and unfortunately, they went into executive session. So I'm here to kind of state my point of view. In the news article right after the following day, Mr. McComb says that everything's rosy. It's only 1.2% of the budget. This is a budget item. On March, the city said there was a $10 million budget for shortfall. Now it's 20. But that one account, it's either 20% or 10% of the deficit. Now we come to find out that the same company owes $400,000 to the county. That's money that's owed to us too. This thing is not a surprise. Last year, midterm last year, for whatever reason, the city was having town hall meetings as far as the budget was concerned. I decided to attend because I knew something was up. I'm familiar with the budget. I went to that budget, and Mr. Molina was there. We discussed. There was a couple of people there, and I asked questions as far as the budget. Nobody could answer it. The person, and everybody told me, the guy that's going to answer your questions is running late. He was late 30 minutes when I said, you know what, I'm leaving. So he finally came in, and I asked him certain things of the budget. He couldn't answer my question. Look, one bad apple spoils the whole bushel. 10 apples will definitely spoil the whole bushel. If these 10 companies, if one company is 10%, maybe the 10 companies will make up the budget shortfall. You know, I'm hoping that the mayor follows through and say, have a public meeting and ask staff what's going on. I know for a fact, by public record, that there's more than $20 million in the budget that is there. It's there. I know about public record because the city attorney's office, through the proper procedures, gave me that document. The money's there. All you got to do is do your homework. I emailed 3 council members, and I said, look, this is what you all have to ask. And I have that email. That was in August of 2017. So you guys were aware of this. Come on, guys. Let's step up and let's find out now. My thing is, it's not Mayor Rhodes' problem. This is all Ron Olson's doing. And there's only one council member here that voted to increase it. And he finally decided, I am the problem. And
Thank you.
Let's do it.
Okay, thank you very much. Mr. Richard Thorpe.
Hello, Richard Troop, 4825 Everhart Road in Corpus Christi. I'm the CEO of the Corpus Christi Association of Realtors. I'm here once again, but this time I wanted to talk about sales price disclosure. For those of you who don't know sales price disclosure, Texas is a non-disclosure state. That means sales prices are not public record. So I say that because there's only one way to get the sales prices. That's through our organization at the Corpus Christi Association of Realtors, through our MLS, where 95% of home sales come through our MLS. You can get it here, or you could get it through the Texas A&M Real Estate Center, which we provide that information to. It's the only way to get it. I mention that because it puzzles me why, when the city of Corpus Christi is having this 5-year consolidated action plan and bringing in a consultant and having stakeholders meetings last week, that we aren't at the table. And I had to find out from a mortgage lender that the meeting was going on to be included here. And so when I force myself in this meeting and we talk about sales prices, it baffles me on how someone is able to know what affordable housing is when we own all of the sales prices. So that's number one. The second thing was to learn that this outside firm comes from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. I spent the time in my meeting last week educating this firm about Texas being a non-disclosure state and the reasons because of it. I spent my time educating this firm on why, when they hinted at having a recording fee or a transfer fee to help with affordable housing, I had to educate them that 2 years ago, Texas has a constitutional amendment. There are no transfer taxes in Texas. I had to educate this outside Philadelphia or Pittsburgh firm that when hinting at a rental registration to have fees from owners on why that doesn't help our affordable housing issue, because those fees on top of a rental, what does it do? It increases the rental price because the owners transfers that fee onto the tenant. So I say that because it is concerning that the same thing we did with Plan CC, we brought in a Boston firm to tell us what to do in Texas. We're bringing in someone in Pennsylvania who aren't aware of our state laws and trying to use that time to tell us what's right here in Corpus Christi. I mentioned to council 2 years ago that there are ways to generate revenue that doesn't have to be on the backs of the homeowners. I talked about there are a dozen cities in Texas that have a fat tax. It's essentially 1.5 cents on each ounce of sugary substances on a soft drink. You could bring in millions of dollars by just taxing soda. Why? Is it because of the bottlers that we don't want to do that? I'm not sure. But I'm just saying because that's an option to not make it mandatory for our homeowners and continue to put that tax burden on our homeowners, which is taxing us out of the city. So I invite you once again to come to the table with us. Let's look at the issue with affordable housing and address it. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Thorpe. Ms. Shirley Thornton.
Shirley Thornton, 1917 Woodcrest Drive, Flower Bluff, and I'm speaking on behalf of the Flower Bluff Citizens Council. Honorable Mayor Pro Tem Smith and Council, we thank you for your service to the city. It was really last night's tragic accident on Flower Bluff Drive that prompted me to come today and speak. No doubt each of us is responsible for our own actions, wise or unwise, and certainly our unwise actions sometimes collide with the unwise actions of others. Add to that a dangerous setting, and we have the formula for a perfect storm. such as the case of the fatal accident that occurred last night on Flower Bluff Drive in Division around 10:45 p.m. According to a Channel 6 report, a witness said he was driving behind a man on a bicycle for a while, then began to move around the cyclist. That's when the white truck behind the witness hit the man on the bicycle. Quote, Lieutenant Huerta Garcia with CCPD said the driver is undergoing medical examination, is looking at possible DUI charges. This officer also commented that the area is very poorly lit. Now, maybe the man who died should never have been on that very dark, very narrow stretch of road, and perhaps the person who hit him should have paid closer attention and made better decisions before he got in his truck. And it's possible that the city should have widened and lighted all of Flower Bluff Drive when the north end was rebuilt a few years ago. Was lighting truly a factor? I don't know if there's any way to know for sure. No doubt, the city can't prevent people from doing that which is dangerous or against better judgment, but the city can try to get ahead of the curve and do their part by removing the dangerous conditions component of the formula for the sake of everyone who will continue to travel that road and others in the Flower Bluff area. Since its inception in 2016, the Flower Bluff Citizens Council has identified Flower Bluff Drive as one of the 5 streets in our area in need of lighting, widening, and sidewalks. At our January and April town hall meetings, this very topic was discussed at length. Now, we're not soothsayers or fortune tellers, but we pay attention to what happens in our neck of the woods, think about it logically, and anticipate what might happen when conditions for the perfect storm are evident. This latest tragedy forces us to revisit the condition of these narrow, poorly lighted streets that are heavily traveled by motorists in vehicles of all sizes and weights, often dragging a trailer of some sort. I recently submitted the concern of one of our citizens who at the last second was forced into the other lane on Glen Oak when a child stepped into the road because the roadside where he was walking became a ditch. Again, this child probably should not have been walking there, but he was, and the driver was put in a precarious situation. The FBCC appreciates and values the dialogues that we've had with the city staff and council. Now we are respectfully asking for action. In this case, adding lighting to Flower Bluff Drive from Padre Island Drive to Yorktown. I don't know if it needs to happen with the bond. I hope it can happen sooner than that. I certainly hope it can be added to the list of capital projects. We are also asking for several other streets that we have already related to you. I appreciate your time and your thoughts on this. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Ms. Thornton. Ms. Rhonda Beadle.
Hello, my name is Rhonda Beadle, and I live at 13933 Gibstay Street out on the island. My neighbors and I have repeatedly been bashed through island social media groups for not wanting a dog park on the island, and I know many of you have already heard plenty about this. I'm here to go on the record for my neighbors and myself that we are not opposed to a dog park on the island. We are simply opposed to a dog park on the island directly behind our homes. I invited all of the council members, and I would like to re-invite all the council members, any city officials, anyone from the PRAC committee, the Park and Rec Advisory Committee, to literally come to my house, stand on my back fence, and look across the park on the narrow end of the park. What people think is such a big park, they're looking at down the full length of the park, and most of that part of the park is already taken with other amenities. So the place where the dog park will be left is the part that's closest to the homes. I literally can throw a tennis ball into the middle of that field, and therefore I could literally throw a ball into that dog park from my own yard. That's how close we're really talking, and I don't think anybody would believe that if you didn't come and stand next to my fence and see that that's how close we're talking about putting this park. And I don't believe anybody here would say they would want a dog park that close to their home. So I'm asking for your help to please help us support finding another area for the dog park out on the island. I'm on full support. I have dogs. I fully support having a dog park on the island. I just don't support it being by homes. And I'm asking for your help as it moves forward to help find a new location, regardless of the outcome of the new master plan being adjusted. That doesn't change the distance between the homes, regardless of what we change on paper. So thank you for your time.
Thank you. Ms. Kathy Harrison.
Good afternoon. My name is Kathy Harrison, and I live at 311B Buckingham Drive here in Corpus Christi, Texas. Dear Mayor Pro Tem Smith and members of the City Council, as a longtime resident of Corpus Christi, a music teacher and a latchkey guitar instructor at Windsor Park Elementary, I invite you to adopt my original copyrighted song, Corpus You Are Our Gem, as the official city song of Corpus Christi. I don't know if about an hour ago you heard a beautiful voice. It was the voice of Alice Oblad, who's sitting there in the audience. She did a beautiful job of it and represented the song very well. Written in 2010, this upbeat, gorgeous hymn pays tribute to our magnificent city, affectionately referring to her as our treasure, our gem, our anchor of hope, and beacon of light. This anthem is thoughtful and compelling, with lyrics powerful enough to instill in its listeners a sense of reverence and pride for Corpus Christi. Corpus You Are Our Gem, whose verses have been translated and performed in Spanish as well as in English, has enjoyed wide popularity over this past year, beginning with the Windsor Park Elementary Choral Group performing it on the Domingo Live Show on December 3rd, 2017. This past weekend, on May 5th, my Corpus Christi Song Choir performed it at our first annual Corpus You Are Our Gem program at Nyland Library. Photos from this program can be found on the Nyland Library Facebook page. Additionally, Corpus You Are Our Gem has grabbed the attention of the local PBS station, who plan to do a news story on it in the very near future. We are looking to expand the Corpus Christi Song Choir as well as form a Corpus Christi Gems guitar ensemble that I would direct, and this would be for guitar players 8 and above, with an addition required. I ask that you provide me with the contact information for the contact person that I would need to provide the necessary paperwork to this week. And I thank you very much for your time. Oh, by the way, I also do have a CD with of the song and with my business card. Thank you again.
Thank you. And Ms. Rose, could you provide that information to Ms. Harrison?
Yes, ma'am. And I would think that the information, any information that you would like for council to get, please feel free to share it with the city secretary's office. But I would definitely take this and make sure the city secretary receives it.
All right, thank you so much. Ms. Alice Oblad? Singing is considered a comment.
Hello. I'm Alice Oblad. I live at 77, I just forgot my address, 7721 Van Zant Drive, Corpus Christi. I'm here, I'm not going to sing to you, but I'm in support of Kathy Harrison and her wonderful song. I am not, if you can tell, I'm not from Corpus Christi, or in fact the US, but I've called Corpus home for the last 3 years, and I'm a local musician, and I have 4 boys who attend Corpus Christi ISD, and I just think it would be a beautiful thing for us to have an official song for our city, and I know that our schools could, really take that, and we could set that into a choral setting and have choirs sing, and I just know it would be a beautiful thing for us to have as a city. So I was just here in support of Kathy and her song. Thank you.
Thank you. Jack Gardy. You.
My name's Jack Gordy, and I live at 4118 Bray Drive. I'm down here, you might say, for about the same thing I was here before. I was down here the last time, I was speaking about illegal signs. Well, at 10:30 this morning on the way down here, from Saratoga to Padre Island Drive, which is 12 blocks, there's 15 illegal signs on Weber Road. Last time I was down here, somebody, I believe right there, said we're working on it. But it's still, none of them's been removed since that day, okay? I guess they're waiting for the state to come down on the city again. And the state went out yesterday and inspected, okay? And the block sidewalks, nothing's been done. And the federal government, they called me yesterday. In 2 more weeks, they're gonna take legal action about the block sidewalk. And in closing, 6 council members and the city attorney and the city manager is violating state law. Every time you get in your car and drive it, you're violating state law. On your tags, on the bottom of the tag, it says the Lone Star State. Well, it's against the state law to cover any word or any number up on that tag. If the city enforces it, it's a $40 fine. If you got one on the front and one on the back, that's an $80 fine. And I verified that with the state of Texas. TxDOT. It is against the law. Everybody here and up there is supposed to be setting an example. Well, that's not an example if you're violating the law and people knows it. I don't call that an example. Not a good example anyway.
Thank you, Mr. Gardy. Mr. Claude DeYounger.
Mayor Pro Tem Smith, ladies and gentlemen of the council, my name is Claude DeYounger. I live at 201 Delmar, and I'd like to point out at this time that residence has been in the family for over 75 years. Consequently, surviving members of the family that have lived in that residence are familiar with Ocean Drive in Cole Park. This afternoon, the subject of the median in Ocean Drive running from Air Street to Louisiana is the subject of these remarks. The short answer is the landscaping needs to go. It's bad. First of all, in looking at the type of vegetation in there, it's high maintenance. The city's talking about being in a budget crunch. They're probably going to have to spend more money on maintaining that than any other place in the area. I'll let the city worry about that. As you have vegetation grow, take for instance the lantana, sometimes, not lantana, help me, Esperanza. The Esperanza bush with the beautiful yellow flowers on it, they can grow 12 feet high, 8 feet wide. People do not necessarily cross Ocean Drive to get into the park at the Delmar Ocean Drive intersection. They cross where it's convenient. And you need to stop and remember that you have youngsters, 12 years old to 17, going to the skate park, going to the regular park to play football or whatever kids do. Used to go fishing. Maybe they'll be fishing again. The lantana and the other vegetation is going to grow to such size that it would make an ideal sniper's nest for somebody in the military. But the concern is a youngster running out, crossing Ocean Drive, getting pancaked by a distracted driver on the telephone or texting or whatever people do today. You look at a lot of these kids, they wear earbuds, they don't hear things. There is a liability there. If you look at all the lawyers on TV saying, bring me your traffic accident, you take a dead child in, the city's going to be a solvent defendant, and there's a big problem. The vegetation in that park, in that median, can be moved to another park. It can be given to the county. As far as the cost of labor is concerned, I would take a look at community service people who are on probation to come in and assist the city in making a move and avoid some real headaches in the future. I thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Younger. Mr. Rodney Page. Going once, twice. Ms. Susie Saldana.
Mayor Pro Tem Smith, members of our City Council. My address is 4710 Hackle. I come to you before you today to tell you about a subject that's really been bothering me, because I cannot go to Walmart, to H-E-B, or anywhere that somebody doesn't stop me and say, why did they do that with Sam Kane? I'm late with my water and they come turn it off. There's a little red man in a red truck running around turning off the water for everybody. And I understand the way you guys explained it and what you did to appropriate the money back. But John Q. Public does not understand. They don't understand why you have two sets of rules for two different entities, for the business community as well as our private community. And they're pretty upset about it. And I'm pretty sure they're hearing it, because I certainly am hearing it. They're upset and they want you to know about it. So I promised them that I would come and talk to you about this today. And I have. I'm telling you, people are upset. That needs to be straightened out. And $2 million is a lot of money. And the arrangements you've made are nice. You're going to get so many thousands a week and so much a month. But the person that's having to pay $79, and then on top of that, the fine of $50, I want to know how much you're fining them on top of the charges that they own. Just like you charge people $50 for the reconnection fee. People want to know, are you fining them? Because you're taking a look at the budget, and I'm telling you, I have people coming in here and telling you, look at the libraries, we need them. And at the time I was growing up, we sure did. We needed the encyclopedia, we needed the libraries. But right now, you want to know anything, including is the sun up in the right angle, you go Google it. You Google anything you want to know. What we need is first responders, like police officers, like firefighters. That's what our budget needs to contain of. People that are going to keep security, and fair and equal treatment for everyone. So I ask you to take that into consideration. Thank you.
Gary Myers.
Good afternoon, Council and Mayor Pro Tem. I'm Carrie Robertson Meyer, 4401 Gulf Breeze Boulevard, North Beach. Congratulations to Mr. Roy, and thank you for your willingness to serve District 1. And I look forward to working with you. And we had an awesome relationship with Carolyn Vaughn over on North Beach, and I imagine we'll have the same with you. And so thank you for sitting in the chair there. You were sworn in about 2 weeks ago, and that was the same day that the council discussed the North Beach Infrastructure Task Force during staff briefing. And after about an hour discussion, it was decided that you would do that to form this 3-person task force made up of a Dallas developer, Jeff Blackert, our county commissioner, Carolyn Vaughn, and a city staff member who knows about engineering. So I'm not sure of the exact purpose, but I think that it sounded like they were going to talk about using the Harbor Bridge materials from the old bridge to create a breakwater or islands on North Beach. NBCA, the group that I represent, has been very for that idea for a long time. We've encouraged Parks and Rec to apply for a grant, a CAPRA grant from the GLO to do a feasibility study on a breakwater in 2015, again in 2017. Didn't happen. So we're really glad to see this moving forward and getting some engineering behind the concept, at least, as we prepare for the 2021 demolition of the bridge. The process of appointing the task force was disappointing to me for 3 reasons. 1, Mr. Roy was not included. 2, there was no advance warning really to the public, no first and second reading like you would normally do. And you know, the bridge is coming down in 2021, so it doesn't seem like, you know, it needs to be that quick. The 3-member makeup was too limited. There's no North Beach property owners included, no real North Beach stakeholders. And we formed 2 task forces in the past. One was a Harbor Bridge task force that NBCA put together of attraction people, business owners, and residents. And we met with TxDOT, all of our officials and everything, did a lot of research on that, a lot of knowledge. We had the North Beach task force that Mayor Adame put together that was about a 3-year lifespan with attractions, business owners, residential representatives, and city staff. So I think it might be time to revive something like that so that Blackard and his group can meet with us and let us know, what they're finding and just stay on the same page. I appreciate his interest in our neighborhood, and I really hope he does end up investing there eventually. One more thing is I have brought you this. It's a flyer from NBCA that explains all about us. I hope that you will consider North Beach Community Association as an official representative of North Beach. We do have about 1,000 members.
Thank you, Ms. Meyer. Pat Palashi. I may have mispronounced it. Do we have a Pat in the house?
I have a small presentation. Okay, well, my name is Patricia Polastri, and I live in 1605 Ocean Drive. And as you see me, I hope that you see all the residents of Ocean Drive that I represent here with the petition that I already provided you to the City Council. The meeting organized for March 26 was a farce. We were presented with a landscaping that does not correspond to what has been planted on our median. The designs that I'm showing you here seem to be from an arid place and not the lush and tropical environment that Ocean Drive was promised. If you look at these pictures from Shoreline, you can see that Shoreline is a sad story. They tell us that this would be a tropical view, but this is what we currently have on Shoreline, and this is what will become of our Ocean Drive. We were asked to come with solutions, and we came with solutions. We're only asking for the removal of some of the vegetation that is planted in front of us, a vegetation that is totally improper for this median. It requires constant maintenance that has to be manually provided. This landscaping obstructs the visibility of the ocean entirely. It is the perfect habitat for roaches, rodents, and critters, but most importantly, it obstructs the visibility of traffic and pedestrians alike. One of these pictures shows a man that is about to cross the street in plain daylight, but you cannot see him until he is actually on the road. Summer has not started yet, but we will see accidents on Ocean Drive, accidents that could have been prevented. This landscaping is increasing the number of pests in our house, but you have not provided us with increased pest controls. This landscaping is reducing the property values of Ocean Drive, but according to Keith Selman, that doesn't seem to be a problem for the city. Ocean Drive brings $10 million in assessed land values, and we, the residents of Ocean Drive, will protest when their view is already gone. We do not claim ownership to the median. However, we would like to have a median that does not bring pestilence to our properties. We are asking you not to force us to live in some standard conditions with pestilence imposed on us. We ask you to keep the view of the bay available to all. We ask you to keep Ocean Drive safe for all. We ask you to remove some of the vegetation from the media once and for all. We believe that in a democracy, elected officials respond to their constituents, and we expect you to do the same. We do not want to be mandated to live with something we do not want for all the reasons we have already explained to you. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there anybody else in the audience who would like to speak? Come up and give your name.
Thank you, Pro Tem and City Council. My name's Sean Weber. I live on 609 Naples Street. And considering the city budget challenges, I have a few questions regarding the city's vehicle fleet. How many vehicles does the city have in its fleet? Please provide a breakdown by department, such as police, fire, parks, maintenance, staff, etc. Please provide a breakdown of vehicle type, such as heavy-duty truck, light-duty truck, bus, SUV, car, motorcycle, ATV, golf cart, etc. Please provide a breakdown by fuel type such as gasoline, diesel, propane, LNG, CNG, electricity, etc. Please provide the budgeted dollar amount per unit of measure per each fuel type for the 2018 year. Please provide the total budget amount for fuel for the entire fleet for the 2018 year. Thank you very much for that. And then also I just had one other question. The gentleman that proposed a soda tax, I'm all in favor of that. I have a friend that is a local vascular surgeon. He said the rate of removals of like legs and arms amputees in Corpus Christi is the second highest in the nation due to diabetes, which is directly due to the consumption of soda. So different reason, but I'm still in favor of the soda tax. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Weber.
Good afternoon, Mayor Pro Tem Greg Smith and City Council. My name is Sylvia Campos. I live at 4410 Fur. Lifelong resident, and I've been thinking a lot about our budget. Can you tell? I've been coming like almost every week. So I was playing, my friend called it Farmer Day, and I'm like, Farmer Day? He goes, you know, you help me and I help you. And I'm like, okay, yeah, that's a good way of doing things. So I'm thinking outside the box. I'm thinking we might start some bartering. And I was thinking maybe another solution could be that, which would be bartering for lower cost of fuel with our fuel buddies, our community partners, in exchange for maybe lower water rates. I was also thinking maybe even healthcare services. I know that takes a big chunk, which we could maybe have something with the county-funded Christus bond system in exchange for, at that point, I would need for y'all to fill in the blank. What is it that we could, you know, give them in exchange for using their system, maybe even exclusively. And we could even try, I know it's gonna make some people upset, but maybe a volunteer firefighter unit for off-peak hours. And then the other item that I was thinking was maybe a more transparency with our economic development projects. For example, you know, they gave an incentive to the Cane Meats company, and when this type of you know, economic development gives money to this type of company that can't barely even support itself, I wonder, I mean, how did they pass muster? I mean, I know I couldn't have if I would have said, you know, I can run this company when I don't have the funds for it. So anyway, I think there needs to be a little bit more transparency with the economic developments. Let's see. And, you know, I just also want to give a shout out to the city employees. I know that they know how to do their job, and it looks bad about, you know, the Cane Meats owing the $2 million. And I did hear the mayor say that he formed an ad hoc committee. And I'm just thinking, I don't even know if we need that, if only we can just allow the employees to do their job.
Thank you, Ms. Campos.
So anyway, I guess I'll have to come back and finish my letter. So thank you so much for all that you do. And believe me, there's others out here that are wanting to do something about our budget. So thank you.
Ms. Campos. Come on up.
Good afternoon, council members. My name is Elizabeth Ray. I am a new resident to Corpus Christi, 1825 Airline Road. And I just wanted to offer a very friendly second opinion about our libraries. I am a bona fide millennial, young professional in the elder care industry, and on all fronts, I have just really treasured our library system here in Corpus Christi. I walk out with huge stacks of books. Whenever my printer's down, I can go there. Daytime programming for people of all ages is really important, and I just wanted to express my appreciation for our library system. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Ray. Have anybody else like to comment? You're later. Okay. Public comment is closed. Next item of business, mayoral appointments. Council members, Mayor Joe McComb has appointed Council Member Everett Roy to the Council Audit Committee, replacing Councilwoman Carolyn Vaughn. As the Audit Committee Chairman, I'd like to welcome you to the committee and thank you for all the work you're going to be doing in advance. Thank you, Mr. Councilman Roy. Next item is City Manager's update on city operations. Ms. Rose, please make your presentation.
Good afternoon, Mayor and Council. There are several items I would like to bring to your attention. The first one is in reference to council goals. As you know, every month I like to give you an overview of what you approved the previous month as it relates to your goals. As you know, the three main areas of focus is water, streets, and economic development. So back in April, in the water area, you actually approved the master service agreement for infrastructure improvements at the O.N. Stevens treatment plant. You also approved a 2-year supply of chemicals for water treatment. In the streets area, you approved the construction contract for downtown streets and traffic signals, including area improvements, and you also authorized the service contract for construction inspection staff support, and you also participated in the grand opening of Greenwood Drive as a bond 2012 project. In economic development, you approved a Type A agreement with an engineering firm to support job development. And you also took the first step to allow for the redevelopment of the old Nueces County Courthouse with the approval of an agreement with Nueces County Courthouse Development Partners. So those are the activities that you were engaged in as it relates to your focused areas. The second item I wanted to talk about, and it's also printed on the agenda, is regarding the utility building update. It has been mentioned throughout some of the public comment today, but I want to just reemphasize that the mayor did establish an ad hoc committee. Councilwoman Debbie Lindsay Opal is the chair of that committee, and the other two members include Councilman Roy as well as Councilman Smith. The committee and the staff has met. Matter of fact, we met last week, and there is a review of the current ordinance in place to determine what changes may be needed for the commercial accounts. As it has been mentioned, the staff has a long-standing practice or tradition of working with the commercial customers who play a vital role in our local economy. Ultimately, the committee will be bringing forward some recommendations to the council for further consideration. I wanted to give that quick overview, but wanted to yield to the chairperson, Councilwoman Lindsay Opal, to see if she has anything else to add.
Thank you, Ms. Rose. I really want to extend our appreciation to the staff and to my fellow council members for being able to get together quickly, because as you hear from the public comment, and I'm sure everyone at this dais has had some questions or concerns about how this went down and how we need to fix it. So really appreciate that time. I will say that there is confusion. There is a challenge because there is an ordinance. The ordinance that's on the books that discusses utility business office customers does not distinguish at this point between commercial and residential customers. There was some action taken back in 2013. A lot of discussion then has sort of been lost in the annals of time. We're not exactly sure what a lot of the communication was. I have been in communication with some of the other council members who've been involved, and it's an important issue. What you will see coming forward will be a change to the existing ordinance, most likely that will clarify that that focuses on the residential customer base. There are some activities that are unique to commercial customers, different than residential. However, the committee and I believe this council feels pretty strongly that there need to be some teeth in the follow-through for those customers, just like we do for our residential. So we've just noted a few things that are quirks in our systems. We run a 21-day cycle. Most businesses are net 30. There's just a wide range of backup and understanding that I think is needed. However, I do want to communicate that staff was very willing and committed to working on this on a very accelerated pace. And this council can look forward to having an ordinance that will review a commercial account process and procedure and protocol that does not exist today in our codes. So you can look forward to that hopefully within a couple of weeks. Our next meeting will be probably following our budget workshop on the 17th on that Thursday. So I just want to really, I guess, make sure that we are clear. This is not the staff saying thank you very much and they're moving on to some other things. They understand this is a priority for the community, and they understand it's a priority for this council. And I believe that we will see something that this council can begin to work on very, very quickly. And I do appreciate the urgency with which the staff is moving. So thank you.
Okay. Councilman Garza. Thank you very much to the committee and the staff for what you're doing related to the utility business accounts, because that is a big concern to the community. I took a lot of heat last Thursday morning about this particular issue, and I'd sure like to see us be able to respond in a way that's going to be positive and it's going to help us going forward in the future. I wanted to make a comment related to we're in the middle of Buck Days. Last Saturday we had the Buck Parade, which was a great event. I'd like to thank the police department for your job. Well done. I mean, this looks like it went off pretty well without a hitch. I was particularly pleased when I drove down Leopard on Sunday morning, and I want to commend and thank the solid waste guys for the work that they did picking up after the parade, and for the citizens that picked up after themselves, that took advantage of the trash bags that we provided and did a good job in making sure that they cleaned up after the event, because it is a big event. There was a lot of people, there was a lot of trash that was actually created, and again, the pickup I think was a great job. So thank you very much, Ms. Rose. If you can pass that on to the staff, I'd really appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Rose?
Okay, so I'm going to move now over to, I just have a couple of more items. The next item is in reference to our city performance reporting. I believe last month we introduce the aviation department as it relates to performance reporting. And I did indicate that I would want to, on a monthly basis, bring another department so you can get familiar with how they're performing in their different areas. I wanted to take a few minutes and allow the interim marina superintendent, Renee Garza, to come forward and give just a quick presentation as it relates to the city performance reporting, after which I'll have one more item when he's finished, and I promise I'll be done. Okay.
Thank you, Margie. Again, I am the interim marina superintendent. My name is Renee Garza, and thank you, council, for having me here today. I'll be presenting the CPR presentation, and I'd like to start off with our mission statement. And our mission statement is to provide a safe and inviting recreational and commercial venue for the boating public and visitors to our city. Our next item that I wanted to speak about a little bit about our operational profile, and it's just going to be a quick overview of our operational profile. This is what gives our operation and allows us to compare ourselves to other marinas in the same market space. All right, I didn't pull up my presentation prior to starting, and I think I'm here at my baseline information right here. So as you can see, our baseline information represents our full-time employees that we have budgeted for our department. Those numbers have been the same for at least 25 years and have not increased. And currently we operate right now with 11 employees. Our total expenditures, as you can see, the report shows 4 fiscal years there, and as you can see, we had an increase in the past 2 fiscal years, and that is a result of some expansion that we have done to the marina. And we have done some, we have replaced some docks on the south basin of our marina. Those were docks R, S, T, and U. Those were completed in 16. So you'll see those expenditures that had increased. Our total revenues is our next item, and as you can see, they were flat for the first 3 of those that are representing right here on this report, and you'll see a increase in our revenues ending 2016-2017, $2 million, and that was a result of an injection of revenue that came in as a result of boats that were devastated by the storm across the bay, and we house those boats and continue to house some of those boats as those marinas come back online. Percentage of boat slips, as you can see, we had a decrease. That trend there was a result also of Harvey. Previous years, 77% 4 years out, 76% 3 years out, and our 63% 2 years out. That was also a result of our new construction of our docks there on the south basin of our marina. They were demoed and being reconstructed, so we had some impact from that, displacing boats to other marinas during that construction phase. The amount of our visiting boats to our marina pretty much stayed consistent for the most part. You'll see that increase ending last year, 2016-2017. That was a result of the amount of boats that we received from marinas across the bay that were devastated from Harvey. So that was a huge increase there, and we continue to house a lot of those boats in our marina. So next item is our boat haul-out services. Being a full-service marina, we do offer a craning service, a full-service repair yard for our marina customers there at the marina. And those represent how many boats are hauled out on an annual basis. You'll see fiscal year 2014, 2015, I'm sorry. We had a small amount of boat services that were provided there, and that was due to replacement of a major piece of equipment, and that was a marine travel lift that was replaced at that time that had given out on us, and that was toward the latter part of the year or the middle of the year. Took some time to replace that piece of equipment. Our next item is our performance indicators. These are our mission elements that we follow. These are our key measurements that we follow on a monthly basis to see how well we're doing as far as revenues coming in, and also our occupancy. Currently, our occupancy is at 70%, and you can see that has actually increased from end of year, fiscal year 2016-2017. So we are on the uprise of our season gets started here at the end of this month. So we're looking to see that value increase as we go through the month. The next item we have is our emergency response. Our emergency response shows a 0 on that, and that is when we respond to water emergencies, whether that being oil spills, boat breakdowns that we would service. That has not increased until I think we reached the opening of our season. You'll see some movement on that number there. Number of boat haul-outs currently for the end of month of April, you'll see 14 boats that were serviced for the month of April. that will start increasing as we go into the summer season, and maintenance does pick up during those periods. That is my presentation. Thank you. If anybody has any questions about something I can answer? Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, so the last item is in reference to our housing and community development. They are currently working on the 5-year consolidated plan that will be from 2018 to 2022, and we're asking for residential input. The public is asked to participate in an online survey which will help determine the needs which are most important to our community. Participation could help secure federal funding for programs like the Home Buyer Assistance Program, affordable housing, and facility improvements. The survey is available in English and Spanish, and it can be found at www.cctexas.com/CAP-survey. And that's going to be on until June the 5th. And with that, that concludes my report.
Thank you. Councilwoman Lindsay Opal.
Ms. Rose, so this survey that's being done is a 5-year comprehensive plan for our housing community development activities?
That is correct.
And it's going to help inform the community relative to affordable, I mean, we all talk about affordable housing, so we know this is going to be an important discussion. So this will help us understand better the situation or identify resources. I guess this would be the out-of-town firm that's doing that. I'm not quite sure that I'm familiar. It sounds like it's an important study, and maybe just a little bit more about that would be helpful.
Keith Selman, Assistant City Manager. The answer to that is yes and yes. It will outline the needs, and then it'll outline how resources will be programmed to meet those needs.
And this is going to be completed by when?
Trying to think exactly what our deadline is, and I believe it's in the fall.
In the fall? And then the results will be brought back to this council and at some point?
Yeah, it'll have to come through you before it goes to the state.
Okay, perfect.
To the feds.
All right, thank you very much.
Thank you.
That completes my report. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Rose. Next item of business are minutes. Are there any corrections to the minutes?
Move to approve.
Second by Ms. Fajardo. All in favor? Aye. Motion passes. Board and committee appointments. Ready?
Yes, sir.
Animal care first.
The first board is the Animal Care Advisory Committee.
Mayor Pro Tem, I'm going to have to excuse myself on that one. Do you mind if I make a quick motion on appointing our new council member to the other 3 positions so that I can step out and y'all can vote on it?
We're working on the animal now. But,
okay, we're on the animal care. Are you stepping?
Well, we can skip, so...
Okay. You're recusing yourself from animal care? Okay.
Well, we'll get the hook. We'll get you back in.
Okay.
Okay, back to animal care.
So going back to animal care.
For the animals.
Yep. There's 3 vacancies representing the following categories: 1 at large, 1 animal welfare, and 1 veterinarian. Please note that staff is recommending the postponement of the veterinarian category for further recruitment. There's 1 individual seeking reappointment, Carla Lofton, and she's an at-large member.
Move to reappoint.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed?
So that leaves us with 1 new appointment in the animal welfare category.
I'd like to nominate Connie Bowen.
Have the nomination?
Connie Bowen.
Connie Bowen.
I'd like to nominate Rosie Science.
And I'd like to nominate Juliana Carlisle.
Any other nominations? Yes, Ms. Rubio, Councilwoman Rubio.
Thank you. Fellow men and women, the reason I'm suggesting Rosie Science is I look at this list, there is no one from District 3. And so I'm asking special consideration because Animal Care Service sits on District 3, and there is no one on this advisory committee from my district.
Ms. Rubio, Ms. Sines is not eligible for the category of animal welfare.
She's at large?
Yes, ma'am. She's an at-large member.
Okay.
So the category that remains is the animal welfare category.
Okay.
So I'm sorry. So Ms. Sines is ineligible. So that leaves us with Bowen and Carlisle.
I think Councilman Roy, we'll start with you and go this way. Okay, so you want to nominate Jake Trevino?
Okay, he's not eligible either. No,
We're
sir.
going to vote. We're going to start this way and go.
We're between these?
Yeah, these two.
Yes, there's two individuals. It's Connie Bowen. She's first on your list. And then we also have Ms. Carlisle, who is third on the list. And both of those individuals fill the category of, are eligible for the category of animal welfare.
I vote to approve or accept.
Okay, which one? Miss
Carlisle or
Juliana Carlisle.
Okay, thank you.
Bowen.
Okay.
Carlisle.
Bowen.
Miss Bowen.
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 Okay, so Miss Bowen is appointed.
Next, Building Code of Appeals.
So Building Code Board of Appeals, we have 4 vacancies representing the following categories: 2 building industry, 1 engineer, and 1 not connected with the building industry. Please note that staff is requesting the postponement of the not connected with building industry category at this time for further recruitment. So there's going to be 1 less that we'll be dealing with today. As far as reappointments, Ramiro Munoz, representing the building industry, and Robert Knowles, the engineer, they're seeking reappointment.
Move to reappoint.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Passes.
Okay, so under new appointments, we have 1 building industry and just one building industry, I'm sorry.
I'd like to nominate Hillary Davis.
Okay.
Any other nominations? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes unanimously.
Mr. Roy may abstain on that one.
Yes. I need to abstain on that.
Oh, you do? Okay. Okay, for the record, Mr. Roy abstained.
Mr. Councilman Hunter, your light's on.
Okay. So next we have the North Padre Island Development Corporation. There's 1 vacancy, and historically council members serve on this board. And council member Everett Roy was, of course, sworn in recently.
Motion?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, so Mr. Roy is appointed. Then we have the Planning Commission. There are 2 vacancies. Both Heidi Hubda and Sheldon Schroeder are seeking reinstatement to the board.
Move to reappoint.
Second.
Any other nominations? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes.
Then we have reinvestment zone number 2. There's 1 vacancy. And of course, historically, council members have been appointed to serve on this board as well.
Move to appoint Mr. Roy, or second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes unanimously.
Okay, and same for reinvestment zone number 3. There's
Move
1
to appoint.
vacancy.
All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion passes
Okay,
unanimously.
Mr. Roy's appointed to that as well. Thank you.
Next item is explanation of council action. Mr. Garza. And on this, certain agenda items are listed as motions. If deemed appropriate, the council can use a different method of adoption than one listed and may pass an ordinance by adopting an emergency measure. A motion to reconsider may be made at this meeting of a vote at the last regular or subsequent special meeting. Such agendas are incorporated herein for reconsideration and action on any reconsideration item. Mr. Garza.
Mayor Pro Tem Smith, on April the 24th, the last meeting we had, regular meeting we had, I voted on the prevailing side, which was the side that voted to deny a zoning change on the Dorsal Development LLC zoning case on Lipes and Bronx. And so I was wanting, I've gotten some additional information. I had a visit with staff. I also met with the developer. And I'd like to see if we might be able to bring that item back for reconsideration if the council so indulges me. So I'd like to vote, I'd like to make a motion to reconsider that particular zoning case.
This is the one off Life's Boulevard that
there was a request for a multifamily zoning.
Apartment.
And I moved and voted against granting the particular zoning, but there was some additional information that staff provided me over the last week, and I also met with the developer, and so there's some information that I think that might be beneficial for us to be able to make the right decision. I don't know what decision that is going to be when we actually come up, but I think that it would be in the community's best interest to be able to have us reconsider that.
I'll second.
Thank you.
Is staff prepared to give us a presentation? Would council? Okay.
Well, it would need to be at a future date.
Correct.
Do we need to vote on this?
Yes, we do. So the motion to reconsider, there's a motion and a second. It does require 2/3 vote of the council to pass. So that's 6 votes.
Okay. Ms. Huerta, could you call the roll? Any further discussion? Ms. Huerta, could you call the roll, please?
Sure. So for passage of the motion to reconsider item number 14 on the April 24th, 2018 agenda, Mayor McComb is absent. Mayor Pro Tem Smith?
Aye.
Council members Garza?
Aye.
Guajardo? Aye. Hunter? It's a motion to reconsider?
Motion to reconsider.
Aye.
Okay. Lindsay Opal?
Aye.
Molina?
Aye.
Roy?
Aye.
And Rubio?
Aye.
The motion passes.
Staff might want to give us information about when they can actually bring it back, because I know there's some publications related to public hearing on the issue.
Well, we've already had the public hearing on that, and that's what gets publicly noticed.
Okay, I don't know what the rules are. I just
Yes, and
give it
just
a
to
chance
add to
to let
that,
us
if
know.
you wanted to do a courtesy notice, we could bring that back on June 12th if you wanted us to do a courtesy notice.
Okay, whatever you decide. I mean, I think that would be proper, so if there's anybody in the community that wants to come back and discuss that, they can
Yes.
address the council at that time. Thank you.
We will.
Thank you. Next item is a consent agenda for items 5 through 19. Is there any public comment on items 5 through 19? I'm open it, hearing none, close that. Council comment. Would council like to pull any of these items? Seeing none.
Move to approve items 5 through 19.
Okay. Get that, Ms. Huerta?
Yes, Mr. Garza made the motion, and I think I heard Ms. Lindsay Opal second.
Okay, all in favor? Aye. Opposed? Consent passes unanimously. We're pushing 1:30 on there before we get into our regular agenda items with it, so we will take a brief recess for lunch. We will reconvene at 2 o'clock. Thank you.
A beautiful lawn is something to behold. So when the yard work is done, what should you do with the grass and branch trimmings? They should not be held in the blue bin. Meet Hardly Yardly. When he's swaying in the breeze, he provides much needed shade. But once his branches snap, he wilts away, becoming another offender in the recycling bin's dirty dozen. Yard waste cannot be recycled. It should be composted, mulched, or set out for brush pickup. It's another way to recycle right.
Looking to spruce up your neighborhood? Here's a free way to do so, but you'll have to get your neighbors involved. The City of Corpus Christi's Solid Waste Department offers the free Litter Critter program, which provides a large brush collection truck for you and 2 or more of your neighbors to dispose of brush and small household items. The truck is dropped off over the weekend and picked up the following workday, giving you the whole weekend to clean up. There are some prohibited items you cannot put in the truck, such as household hazardous waste, construction materials, and other miscellaneous materials. If any of these listed items are found in the truck, or less than the required number of neighbors participate, you will be responsible to pay a fee. To take advantage of this program, all you must do is fill out an application. The application can be found on our website, www.cctexas.com. After filling out the application, you can submit it by mail or deliver it to the Solid Waste Operation Office. Help keep your neighborhood and Corpus Christi sparkling. Need to get a license for your pet? How about paying a traffic ticket? You can take care of these 2 things and much more on our city's website, www.cctexas.com. On the front page, you'll see a tab called Pay. Here you will see multiple options for financial services you can pay for with ease. Choose the option you need, which will provide information and additional links to help make your payment a breeze. Make sure to explore our website to find more features that will make your day easier and keep you informed. Visit www.cctexas.com. The Corpus Christi Parks and Recreation Department staff keeps kids active with their Latchkey program all year long. The Latchkey program offerings include an after-school program, vacation station camps, and summer camps. Our dynamic, creative, and trained staff is ready to engage with your kids in a wide range of activities, from recreation to creative and fitness. Your children will participate in age-appropriate activities which encourage engagement and help build positive self-esteem. The program is licensed by the Texas Health and Human Services and operates at the Corpus Christi, Flower Bluff, and Cal Allen ISDs. This program is a perfect solution for working parents concerned about leaving their child in an unsupervised environment. For more details about the program, like tuition fees, forms, and to register online, visit our website, www.cctexas.com, and search for Latchkey Program. The City of Corpus Christi's Parks and Recreation Department invites everyone to live, learn, play.
This week's feature is Recreation Centers. Corpus Christi has 4 recreation centers: Joe Garza, Lindale, Oak Park, and Oso Recreation Center. The recreation centers offer a free after-school program for children 6 to 16 to engage in homework tutorials, arts and crafts, games, and special programs. Summer programs such as the Summer Programs and Recreation for Kids program, or SPARKS, offers activities such as arts and crafts, tournaments, board games, indoor and outdoor play, and guest speakers. Parks and Rec also offers Lunches on Us summer food service program that provides lunch and afternoon snacks free of charge for children 1 to 18 at several locations in the city. In the summer, each rec center is open from 11 a.m. to 4 p.m. Monday through Friday, and during the school year, 3 to 7 p.m. Monday through Friday. For more information, call 361-826-PLAY or visit cctexas.com.
Hi, my name is Jesus Solis, traffic investigator for Corpus Christi Police Department. About every 20 minutes in Texas, someone is hurt or killed in a crash involving alcohol. In March 2017, there were 50 crash-related DWIs and 4 fatalities in Corpus Christi. In Texas, a person is legally intoxicated at 0.08 breath alcohol concentration, or BAC. A person is also intoxicated if impaired due to alcohol or other drugs, regardless of BAC. Drivers under the influence could face up to $17,000 in fines, fees, jail time, and could lose their driver's license. Think twice before you drink and drive. Whether you're the driver or passenger, you could be fined up to $500 for having an open container in a vehicle. Remember, it's illegal to consume any amount of alcohol if you're under the age of 21. Don't drink and drive. Plan ahead for a sober ride. Here's how you can stay safe if you have too much to drink. Designate a driver, call a cab, or spend the night where you are. Stay sober and safe, Corpus Christi. Don't drink and drive.
This week's feature is McGee Beach. If you're looking to be near the water and downtown, look no further. McGee Beach is the perfect place to be. McGee Beach is located on the Corpus Christi Bay. It's seaweed-free and has calm waters that are perfect for beginner swimmers. Aside from swimming, there are also jetties for anglers to enjoy, plenty of light waves for surfers, and it's a car-free zone so you can just enjoy the sand under your feet. There are restroom facilities nearby. Along with the beautiful downtown you can explore with plenty of places to eat, shop, and the Water's Edge Park to play at when you're done with the surf and sand. For more information, visit us at www.cctexas.com.
Here's where they get all the meters. They get them here and they calibrate them. They also get our regulators.
When a gas emergency happens, big or small, gas department technicians make their way out to the scene as quickly as possible. We are heading out into the field to learn more about what goes on around our city. The day for a gas department technician usually starts at 8 a.m. The first items on the docket are gathering the equipment they will need for the day, washing down their vehicles, and finding out what customer calls have been placed at dispatch. General Foreman Manuel Alvarez will be assisting multiple gas department field technicians today, with the first stop being at a new home to set up a gas meter.
These sets are for our new homes. You know, we have our local home builders call and requesting a gas meter. So once we've established the gas service there, then that's when they make a ticket for our guys, our appliance techs, to go out there and set a meter. Just once time we'll go through the routine. You know, because sometimes they call us to set a meter and they don't have gas service yet, so. Okay. So this is our gas service here. And this is their gas line to the house. So now all we gotta do is hook up our side to theirs.
The installation process can take anywhere from an hour to 2 hours, with the technician having to do the correct actions step by step to make sure everything is installed properly.
Now our gas servers are usually installed with a gas flow preventer, which means that once we take that cap off, it'll be little to no gas come out. So now what he's going to do is put a sealant, and then he'll install the regulator. Now it's important that we install the testing 90, because the testing 90 is what's going to purge the gas from our site to the customer site. But this is going to give us the the purge that we need to run our gas pressure test to the house. What the meter does is adjust consumption to the house according to whatever appliance you're using. It adjusts your pressure, which is your regulator. And what our meter will do is account for whatever gas you're using in units. Now once our meter is installed, what he's going to do now is check for pressure. In other words, he's going to check the pressure that's going inside the house. So when he turns on gas, he takes a measurement with our equipment.
After the gas meter is installed and tested, the technician will check all the gas lines and appliances to make sure they are working properly and there are no leaks. He'll then coat the outside pipes in a protective coating to add extra protection from the natural elements. Other types of challenges technicians face are gas leak calls and after repairs.
Work order 941831. 941831. Address is 15201 South Padre Island, Suite 100. Signal 1 inside. Check for CO.
But we're going to go to a call that's for carbon monoxide. We're not sure if it's going to lead to a gas leak also, so what we're going to do is get with Tomas, one of our senior techs, and we'll go from there. And he's checking for gas odor with his GMIS gas indicator. It also picks up carbon monoxide, and any indication of gas, our rover will pick it up, and that's our indicator. Okay, what we'll do now is we'll run a shut-in test, and so far we haven't found anything. As far as CO goes, we're good. So now we're going to go ahead and run that pressure test and make sure gas is going to be okay.
For the shut-in test, the technician will check all the appliances with GMI, then close off all the valves and go outside to the gas meter. There, the technician will watch the flow regulator for 15 minutes to make sure the needle on the meter gauge doesn't change. If there is a change, it would indicate a leak. This time, there was no leak, so the technician went back into the business to open the valves and restore gas to the appliances. One major concern gas technicians are faced with is when residents or commercial builders hit a gas line. A team of technicians will head to the locations immediately to fix the line.
We're heading towards Cimarron, and I didn't get the cross street, but as far as I know, it is by a school. And what happened is that a contractor hit one of our gas lines, and the call came in, so we're over there, going over there to assist the crew. Okay, what they did is they hit a 2-inch poly gas main, which is made out of plastic. So the guys are going to clean it up a little bit. Once they clean it up a little bit, they're going to do is slide a clamp on there and render it safe. Good work, man. Now it's a weight game. Once they call in line locations, we'll wait. What they'll do is strip it out on both ends. And then what they'll do is they'll squeeze the pipe so we won't have any gas flow in the work area. And then what they'll do is fuse in a new piece.
Once line locations lets the team know where the gas is coming from, they will be able to continue the process of fixing the break.
Just now they squeezed all the pressure down. So now what they'll do is remove that clamp, release that gas. Now they'll have a safe work area where they can cut that damage out. Now that iron's gonna heat fuse the piece of new pipe together. So we got to turn it on, and we got to let it get hot. We got to get it to 500 degrees. So it'll be ready, and then we'll make our repair.
There are 4 shifts for technicians, meaning they work around the clock, always ready to get a call from dispatch for an emergency. Calls can range from consumer calls with gas problems at their home to major calls for gas leaks that may shut down areas in the city. No matter what the call or the time, a technician is ready and waiting to help keep the city safe.
I'm Lieutenant Michael Pena with the Special Investigations Section with the Corpus Christi Police Department. Did you know there were 758 cases of credit card abuse in 2017 and 13 documented cases of skimmers found in Corpus Christi? So what is a skimming device? Skimming devices are used by criminals to capture data from magnetic strips on the back of credit and debit cards. These devices are placed over the card reader or internally at gas pumps and ATMs to steal your information. When paying at the pump with a credit card, look at the security sticker and lock that is placed on the pump. If the tape has been broken or the lock has been damaged or punched, use a different pump. Here are some ways to help protect yourself from being the victim. Pay with cash. Use a prepaid loadable card. Pay inside at the register. When using your PIN number, cover the pad with your hand to protect your PIN from prying eyes and pinhole cameras. Also, monitor your accounts frequently to spot unauthorized purchases. Once fraud has been detected, contact your financial institution immediately. For more information, call the CCPD Crime Prevention Unit at 886-2768.
This week's feature is getting a library card. The library is a great place to spend your day, whether it's checking out one of their many activities, using the computer, or just reading a book. Did you know, if you're a local resident, you can get a free library card and take books and DVDs home? Each library has a selection of books and DVDs you can check out for a set amount of time. All you have to do is sign up for the free library card during your visit. But wait, there's more. Much more. If you have an electronic reading device, you can check out ebooks, magazines, and audiobooks from the library with your library card. There are thousands of ebooks to choose from, with new books coming into the library's digital selection frequently. There are 6 libraries serving the Corpus Christi area. For more information, visit us at www.cclibraries.com.
Hawk Company visited with city employees from the water department to see how they deal with buildup in the system and how they monitor the water distribution system. Hawk Company is an international water analysis company that develops analytical instruments and chemicals to test water quality to ensure safe water for facilities or communities.
They want to see different processes in terms of how we treat our water, how we monitor our distribution system, what we do with that information, how we watch our data to ensure that we're keeping an eye on our distribution system.
As part of the video series, the Hawk Company toured the Owen Stevens Water Treatment Plant, interviewed city employees about water sampling, plant operations, and the nitrification plan. Hawk wanted to tell the story about the water events in 2016 and how the Water Utilities Department overcame those challenges as an example for other cities dealing with the same issues.
The fact that they're coming here to see how we use their equipment and how we react to certain events, it's a pretty big deal. They're looking at us as one of the standards for water treatment and water and for water quality analyzing.
Hawk representatives were impressed with how the water department proactively monitors the distribution system.
The distribution system monitoring that is so extensive, so systematic, so repeatable. That to me was a real surprise, and I was just very impressed to see how sophisticated it is. And I think, again, that really is the key, where you've gone from being, an organization that had an issue somewhere in the system and didn't really maybe know where, why, how. Now you know exactly where, you know exactly when, and there's just such a laser focus on data.
Hawk's video series will also feature how the city of Corpus Christi has improved the way water is treated. Reporting for the city of Corpus Christi, I'm Eva Padilla.
Customer call center. My name is Carol. How may I help you?
Carol Tilley retired from Southwestern Bell, but for the past 11 years, she's been working for the City of Corpus Christi's Customer Call Center.
I've been here 11 years, and I like my job. By myself, I could take over 100 calls.
In one day?
In one day. And that's to utilities, code enforcement, animal care, it's gas leaks, water leaks. We are the first point of contact for the city.
She is one of 22 customer call center representatives that answers phones fielding questions, easing concerns, taking requests, and assisting with emergencies from assist customers from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m., working in 3 different shifts. For situations after hours, calls will be forwarded to a dispatch handled by the gas department.
I really like assisting the customers. Okay, thank you. I will report your leak at the meter. Someone will be out there. And that's all you got to do. And same to you. Thank you. Bye-bye. On this particular call, the customer was calling saying they had a leak at the meter. So what I'm going to do is send a work order so that there's some water technicians can go out there and look at the meter, and if it's on the city side, they'll fix it. If it's on the customer side and the customer's not home, they'll leave a notice. They'll cut the water off for, security for them, so their bill won't be any larger.
After assisting with about 100 calls in 8 hours, the shift is over, but calls keep rolling in. The City of Corpus Christi Customer Call Center is always here to answer your questions, ease your concerns, take your requests, assist with emergencies, and provide the best customer service.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
The Stormwater Department showcased its latest program, the Inlet Basket Program, in which it empties out stormwater baskets to alleviate flooding. This is pivotal regarding Storm Harvey.
One of the newer programs we've started to help kind of eliminate some of the trash and the storm drains and being discharged into the bay is the Stormwater Inlet Basket Program. So these baskets were designed to sit under the inlet and actually catch any debris while still letting the water flow through the basket, so it doesn't actually cause any flooding, but we're able to actually capture any of the debris that might have been carried with it.
The city has more than 633 miles of storm drains and more than 18,000 inlets. 28 inlets contain debris baskets that are emptied on a bi-weekly or monthly basis, depending on their location.
We see a lot of styrofoam cups, a lot of food containers, food wrappers, cigarette butts, grass, leaves, and debris like that has actually traveled from people's homes and driveways and gotten into our stormwater inlet system. The problem with that is it can actually cause clogs along the way in the storm drains, which then backs up the flooding and can cause more flooding in the streets. That's particularly important in a time like this where we've got a major storm coming, and we want to ensure the storm drains are completely clear and free for the rainfall and water.
Emptying the debris baskets is critical to alleviating excessive flooding, especially during a storm or hurricane. The stormwater team picked up more than 4,000 tons of trash in 2016 with inlet cleaning, storm drain cleaning, and trash rakes.
Reporting for the City of Corpus Christi, I'm Eva Padilla.
This week's feature is a walk along the bayfront. Soak up the sunshine by taking a walk along the seawall and looking out into the Corpus Christi Bay. There are a lot of great places you can check out along the bayfront that runs from the Water Gardens down to McGee Beach. Enjoy a walk through the solar system and take in some larger-than-life art pieces along the bayfront. Stop and watch the boats leave the Corpus Christi Marina, or take in the sights of local businesses and eateries along the T-heads. Don't forget to stop by the Salina Memorial statue while you're in the area. You can check out the Corpus Christi Visitor Center for local attraction information, or head to one of the local parks that runs along the bayfront. If you don't feel like walking, you can grab a rideshare bike from one of the bike racks conveniently set up along the bayfront. Your first hour of the ride is free. For more information, visit us at www.cctexas.com. The City of Corpus Christi's Utilities Department and Engineering Department are taking their final steps towards finishing the 171-foot water storage tank on Holly Road. The final steps of the project are to provide piping, lighting, electrical connections, and lift the bowl to its final height. This and the Rand Morgan tank will replace 4 older water towers and will provide storage for millions of gallons of drinking water to citizens, improve water quality, and stabilize pressure. For more information, visit us at www.cctexas.com.
Though the zebra mussel is small, it is a destructive force destroying ecosystems in Texas lakes. One zebra mussel can produce up to 1 million microscopic larvae that take over local waters.
They have no competition, so they have no natural predators, and as a result, they just take over and completely infiltrate. So not only are they competing with other native species, totally killing them off, they're also affecting infrastructure within the city, which of course will cause millions of dollars to fix.
The invasive species hitches a ride on boats and trailers, then moves from one lake to another as you move your boat. To prevent the spread of zebra mussels, clean, drain, and dry your boat.
Once you get your boat and trailer out, drain everything and then give it a good rinse so that you get any remaining water off, and then maybe the most important step, to dry things out. It's recommended that if you have 7 days of drying time, that the zebra mussels can't live in a dry environment beyond that, so they won't get transported.
It is illegal to knowingly or unknowingly transport the fast-spreading zebra mussel.
Concerning the possession, transportation, or failure to comply with any of the cleaning regulations surrounding zebra mussels, it's a Class C misdemeanor and could result in a fine of $25 to $500.
So spread the word, not zebra mussels. For more information, visit cctexas.com/zebra mussels.
This week's feature is Senior Center Programs. The Corpus Christi Parks and Recreation
Okay. 2:03, we're reconvening the meeting. We're on item 20, first reading authorization for issuance of general improvement bond to finance voter approved bond 2016 project.
I'm sorry, Mayor Pro Tem Smith, just regarding, for the record, on item number 9 on the consent agenda, Mr. Hunter had abstained on that item.
Okay.
I just wanted to know if it's okay with the council, we can record his vote as abstain.
Okay with the council?
I'm
okay.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Wharton. Okay, back to 20, the bond to finance voter approved bond 2016 projects.
Good afternoon. My name is Constance Sanchez, the Director of Finance. The item before you is an ordinance providing for the issuance of up to $18,350,000 of general improvement bonds whose projects were approved by the voters on November the 8th, 2016. The agenda item authorizes the sale of the bonds to fund the approved projects and delegates to the city manager, assistant city manager, director of finance, and the city attorney the authority to effect the sale with the following parameters. Number 1, the principal amount of the bonds may not exceed $18,350,000. Number 2, none of the bonds shall bear an interest rate greater than 6% per year. And number 3, the bonds must have a rating issued by a nationally recognized municipal securities rating organization. This bond issuance was included in the plan of finance presented to the City Council on February the 27th by our financial advisor. We are planning on pricing these bonds no later than June the 1st. Approval of this item in its first reading is being requested today.
Thank you. I'm going to open it up to public comment. Is there any public comment? Closing public comment. No council comment. Entertain a motion to approve. So moved. All in favor? Aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion passes unanimously. Item 21, first reading ordinance, authorization for issuance of certificate of obligation for streets and facilities.
Good afternoon. My name is Constance Sanchez, the Director of Finance. Item number 21 is an ordinance providing for the issuance of up to $15,750,000 of certificates of obligation for projects associated with Bond 2014, for facilities, and for street improvements related to the Harbor Bridge replacement. We followed the required publications for certificates of obligation and published a notice of intention in the Corpus Christi Caller-Times on March the 25th and on April the 1st. This agenda item is structured in a similar manner as the prior item. It authorizes the sale of the certificates of obligation to fund these projects and delegates to the city manager, the assistant city manager, the director of finance, and the city attorney the authority to effect the sale of the certificates subject to the same parameters we just discussed. The principal amount for the certificates, however, may not exceed $15,750,000. None of the certificates of obligation shall bear an interest rate greater than 6%. And the certificates must have a rating issued by a nationally recognized municipal securities rating organization. As with the previous item, this issuance was included in the plan of finance presented by our financial advisor on February the 27th. Approval of this item in its first reading is being requested today.
Is there any public comment? Closing public comment. Councilman Garza.
General certificates of obligation, these for some of the streets?
Yes, sir. So we had...
The ones that we approved last June or July?
Correct.
In anticipation of the Harbor Bridge?
Yes, sir. That is correct.
Now, these, I mean, if we issued these certificates of obligation, we would keep them as certificates of obligation, or
yes,
do we
sir.
plan on getting
no,
them on the bond program for 2018?
No, once we issue the certificates of obligation and the projects are completed, we do not need to include them on the bond 2018.
Okay, and are there any kind of, I'm going to say, financial or debt issues related to our capacity to be able to borrow?
No, sir. These were included in that plan of finance that our financial advisor presented, and they have been in our plan. So it's we should be covered just fine.
Okay, thank you,
Constance. Yes,
sir. Well, I'd like to follow up on that. Part of this program, we did 4 streets on it: Surfside, Comanche, LaPan, and Timmons Boulevard.
Yes.
And we as a council, we discussed that last summer. I don't know the date, but it was in June. But those streets are all paved and ready to go, and they're smooth streets. So I'd like to commend staff and the street department for, and saved quite a bit of money too. It went under the STMP, and that job very well done. Okay, hearing no other comments, we'll entertain a motion to approve.
Move to approve.
Second.
All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passed unanimously. Next item, first reading ordinance, authorization for issuance of certificates of obligation for solid waste.
Good afternoon. My name is Constance Sanchez, the Director of Finance. The item before you is an ordinance providing for the issuance of up to $7,500,000 of certificates of obligation for the construction of Sector 3C disposal cell at the Cefe Valenzuela landfill. We again followed the required publications for certificates of obligation and published a notice of intention in the Corpus Christi Caller-Times on March the 25th and on April the 1st. This agenda item is structured in a similar manner as the prior two items. It authorizes the sale of the certificates of obligation to fund these projects and delegates to the city manager, the assistant city manager, city attorney, and director of finance the authority to effect the sale of the certificates subject to the following parameters. The principal amount may not exceed $7,500,000. None of the certificates of obligation shall bear an interest rate greater than 6%, and the certificates must have a rating issued by a nationally recognized municipal securities rating organization. This item was included in the plan of finance presented to the City Council on February the 27th by our financial advisor, and we're planning on pricing these certificates no later than June the 1st. Approval of this item in its first reading is being requested today.
Okay, we'll open it up to public comment. Is there any public comment on item 20? Hearing none, we'll close it to public comment. Any council comment? Motion to approve by?
Second.
Okay. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passing unanimously. Thank you, Ms. Sanchez.
Thank you.
Next item, 23, first reading ordinance, Type A grant for Nueces County Courthouse Development Partners, LLC. The courthouse. The Nueces County Courthouse.
Good afternoon, Mayor Pro Tem, council members. For the record, I'm Ian Vasey with the Corpus Christi Regional Economic Development Corporation. I stand before you, oh my goodness. I stand before you today to present a Type A incentive of $3 million request for Nueces County Courthouse redevelopment. This is part of the stacked incentives that we've discussed previously with the tax increment reinvestment zone. This would be for a 159-room Le Meridien Hotel, which would include $51 million total project cost, of which $45 million will be in construction costs. The team that is going to take on this project is specialists in historic preservation, led by both Kuhn Restoration and Steve Goodman, who's an experienced financing individual. It's in our due diligence, we've uncovered that they have been involved in about 19 or 20 major projects, primarily in Ohio and Pennsylvania area, including a very, very similar project of redeveloping the old Claresville, Ohio courthouse, which looks a lot like our courthouse, actually, but that was into a more office space rather than the hotel. We are looking at if the payback period, the council policy is obviously to rear load incentives, so it's performance-based, meaning the developer has to do something, has to open the hotel, has to get final certificate of occupancy, and clear all of their liens to make sure that all the contractors have been paid before we release any of the money, should this be approved. The project would create at least 25 new jobs, permanent. However, it'll actually be a lot larger number than that. I think that the final number is 45 full-time on their application, plus another 30 part-time. But for performance standards, we are going to hold them to that 25 level or greater. And the investment period is a 3.9-year return to the city. So very quickly within your standard 5 to 7 years policy guidelines for this. We are potentially looking at Should they close escrow, should they move forward with this project, if approved today, they'll close escrow potentially by the end of the month. The first action they would have to do is pay back $1.6 million in owed back taxes to both yourselves and all of the other the school district, the county, and all of the other taxing districts. With that, we are anticipating a combination of Type A funds, TERS funds, and then some future leases on property that is sitting vacant for the city. We'll be bringing back those at a future date. I'm happy to answer any questions.
Councilwoman Lindsay Opal.
Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem. I just want to verify, as you are vetting this project and others as well, you do a bit of a deep dive into the company that's actually making this request. And based on the information that you and the EDC has seen, there is financial capability and a past track record of being able to accomplish projects at this scale?
That's what we've done, and we've taken it both through our the Economic Development Corporation Board of Directors, and we've also taken it through the Type A Board of Directors as well, and stand here making this recommendation. Again, but our job is to protect the city's interest, so we are rear-loading all of the incentives, meaning they have to actually perform before they get any money out of the city, that they have to actually open the hotel, get the certificate of occupancy, make sure, provide us evidence before we release anything. Mr. Culbertson receives who's our CPA in-house. He receives all of the waivers of lien. We review those to generally accepted accounting practices, and we make sure that, and then we issue a notice and recommendation to Ms. Rose that all of the requirements of the contract have been completed before any money is released. This is a very, very strong protection of the city's Type A money.
Well, I would say that looking at this particular project and the length of time that it has been in its current state of falling apart, that to have an organization with the financial capabilities and willingness to step in and make that a positive asset for this community, and with these protections, which I think is really spot on in terms of what we need to be looking at to make sure that there's a proof of performance before releasing public funds. I think that is a well-crafted document and a well-crafted plan. Thank you.
Mr. Vasey, is this incentive package necessary for this project to go forward?
Mayor Pro Tem, yes it is.
Okay, so the city of Corpus Christi is making this commitment, and without it, that the courthouse would remain in its derelict state if the taxpayers of this city and the city of Corpus Christi didn't back this project?
Yes, sir. This is the gateway into your downtown. When the old bridge is removed, all of that big on-ramp is going to be removed. It's going to be sitting there. We can't tear it down. It's got historic status. I jokingly asked the Admiral once if he could accidentally bomb it, but they didn't think it was a joke. They can't do that. And it's one of those things, it's a very hard project to take on. These historic preservation projects are very complex financing mechanisms because you're getting into historic preservation tax credit issues and cycles and things like that. So it's a very complicated financing mechanism, but these folks seem to have the mechanism and the experience to be able to do that.
And Mr. Vasey, will the developer, I understand, has expressed an interest in coming down if we have questions of the developer at the next reading?
Yes, sir. And my apologies. I asked him to come to the second reading versus today. He would have come today if we'd asked him, but that's on me.
Councilwoman Rubio.
Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem. Mr. Vasey, can you tell me what the length of time before all this project would be completed?
Once they begin construction, there's about a 7-8 month permitting process, and then it'll take them 2 years worth of construction. Actually, one thing I didn't add to this is we also had our CVB president, Paulette, I was just going to say, Ms. Kluge she reviewed the recommendations for the hotel element and the occupancy rates that they're basing their pro forma on, and their ADRs, average daily rates, are very, very conservative as well. So she says that this is very, very strong and very conservative projections for this project.
Thank you.
Thank you. Entertain a motion to approve.
Second.
Rubio. And a second by Ms. Lindsay. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion passes unanimously. Thank you, Mr.
Thank you.
Okay. Item 24, first reading ordinance, land exchange agreement for Rodfield Road expansion project.
Mayor Pro Tem, for the record, Council Members Garza and Debbie Lindsay Opal are abstaining from this item.
Hope we don't need a three-quarter vote.
I know, I hope not.
Mr. Edmonds.
Good afternoon, Mayor Pro Tem, council members. I know this is an item that several people have been anxious to see concluded. This is an ordinance approving a land exchange between the Nuss Family Partnership and others in the city to get the final piece of real estate that we need to move forward on the Rodfield Road project. This is a tract that's located in the northeast quadrant, and what we are exchanging is frontage along Rodfield and Yorktown that we need for the road project, and what we are vacating is the property along the kind of corner clip airline road that cuts over from Yorktown to Rodfield. And we feel like it was a very successful and favorable negotiation. We ended up pretty close to where the city's starting position was on this. I stand ready for any questions.
Mr. Edmonds, when do you anticipate starting this project?
We are wrapping up the drawings. We hope to advertise for bids this month and bring the contract award in the June, July timeframe to City Council.
And this will clean up that intersection at...
Yes, it will be a normal intersection, signalized intersection.
Thank you. Is there any public comment? Hearing no public comment, council comment, I already did that, so entertain a motion to approve. Ms. Rubio, second by Ms. Molina. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Did I do something wrong?
No, sir. I was just going to note for the record, Mayor McComb is absent, Mr. Garza abstained, and Ms. Lindsay Opal abstained. So we have the 6 votes, I'm sorry.
Motion passed unanimously. Next item, similar, 25, first reading ordinance authorizing conveyance of city property to Texas Department of Transportation. Ms. Valerie Gray.
Good afternoon. Valerie Gray, Executive Director of Public Works. This is for execution of agreements with TxDOT to authorize conveyance of one parcel and to release access rights to another. This is the locations of those two locations, and here's the two pictures of where they are. These items are needed in association with the Harbor Bridge replacement project, and these two areas were not included in the original 2014 Harbor Bridge replacement project contribution agreement that was executed with TxDOT and the city when the project began back in 2017. So these are two additional parcels that were not included in that contribution agreement that covered most of the parcels. Parcel 322 that you see at the bottom is located at 702 Martin Luther King Drive near Coke Street and is approximately 0.2 acres and is needed as a result of the design change with the loop ramps that they've added to the project. So you could see that there's quite a bit of area around it that's already hashed. That was already in the contribution agreement. They came back and needed that additional little part you see in red. The access denial is being requested and is located at parcel 321. You can see that in the top drawing. And it's extending approximately 132 linear feet along the IH-37 frontage road near Peabody and Noakes. The city will be paid $29,494 for parcel 322 and $4,000 for parcel 321. Both of these amounts include $3,000 each for execution of two additional agreements. They're called possession and use agreements for transportation purposes, and this allows the state to proceed ahead without delay and them to take it over as soon as we execute the amendments. Currently, no additional acquisition needs is anticipated, but there may be some temporary construction easement requests in the future. So with that, I stand by to answer any questions you may have.
Okay, I'm going to open it up for public comment. Any public comment? Closing for public comment on it. We'll entertain a motion to approve. Second. Motion a second. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion passed unanimously.
Thank
Future agenda items, items 26 through 33. Ms. Rose, are there any staff presentations?
No, sir, there are no presentations. However, there's a couple of items we would like to either share information or take off. So item number 29, we would like to remove from the agenda. There's additional information that was provided that we need to deal with before we bring that back.
Okay, the supply agreement for automotive repair parts.
That is correct.
Okay.
That one will be removed. And item number 27, staff needs to share some additional changes.
Ina Nixon-Mendez, Director of Development Services. On item number 27, this is related to the participation agreement for Starlight Estates Unit 1 to demolish and reconstruct a bridge on Starry Road. And at the time of publication, unfortunately, we had determined a calculation error in the level of participation. The level of participation, there's a formula in the Unified Development Code that we utilize to determine the level of participation. And we have determined that that level of participation of the city would be 42.3%, or $28,414, and the developer's participation is $38,746.50, and that level for the developer would be 57.7%. And so we would like an opportunity to visit with the developer related to this error that we have detected and bring that back next meeting.
Council comfortable with that?
Yes.
Saving a little bit of money? And it was 10% was their participation in our packet, am I correct?
Our packet was a 90-10, yes, sir.
Thank you. Would council like to have any comments or questions on any of the future agenda items? Okay. Nope. Hearing none. Boy, we need to do a little dance here, folks. Executive session, none. Identify council future agenda items. Councilwoman Lindsay Open.
Mr. Smith, Ms. Rose, I'm not sure if the rest of the council has been receiving the information and comments that I have. I really want to extend my appreciation for sending the information on the lease relative to SQH. And when I see Mr. Vasey give the kind of report that he gave in terms of the economic benefit and the rationale behind why the city is giving opportunity to one developer over another, it just occurs to me that when the SQH lease comes back, if we don't have an opportunity ahead of time to maybe go through a similar process for the public to understand kind of what the benefits of that are going to be. So I'd just like to ask if we could put something on the agenda for the 15th that would be a presentation sort of similar to what Mr. Vasey gave today about what this is and how it's going to work and why the staff is recommending it at this time and in this way, because I think that would be very helpful for the council and for the citizens to understand why we're doing what we're doing.
If is that the will, the consensus, we'll be glad to put it on.
Councilwoman Rubio.
I guess my concern is if we're going to be doing this process, because they're supposed to come back on the 22nd, is that correct?
Correct.
So wouldn't that process be utilized at that particular time? Or do you want to see something ahead of time?
Ms. Rubio, I really wanted to see it ahead of time. I just would feel, I guess I'm thinking about the developers, and if there is a lot of activity or comments, it might be better to have that prior to the vote of that so that on the day of the vote they wouldn't have to necessarily be defending it at the second reading. I just think that the level of questioning has reached a point that I think the council and the staff probably have very good answers for that, but it would probably be better to do that in advance rather than at what would technically be the 11th hour.
So are you wanting to see an agenda item? Because it can't be in a briefing, because in a briefing we can't vote.
Yeah, an agenda item outlining the process.
I guess my question would be to Mr. Risley.
Yeah, you can have an agenda item and to discuss an item, and you can always do a motion to management if you have any kind of particular matter that they need to look into. But obviously, there's no formal vote on a briefing.
And it would be in the form of a briefing.
Could be a form of a briefing just for informational purposes, but not to have any action.
Well, you can always do a motion of
Right.
direction.
No, I get that.
Right.
I want to make sure that we're doing this. I don't like to have the media direct an issue. That's my concern.
Thank you. Yeah, I think the rest of the council that this is a big issue on there, and we have discussed this in executive session. And to me, it's important that we get out to the public and let the public know what we're doing. With some of our other recent projects on there, that we can be more visible with this. So I'm going to support a presentation in public so everybody knows what we're talking about. And I think all of us have got a fair amount of feedback, and that's helpful in the process.
Mayor Pro Tem, may I request a motion of direction, please, on this item?
Okay, so we need 4 votes.
Right. So
Yeah.
I'll make a motion of direction.
Thank you.
In accordance with Ms. Rose's request to have a presentation / briefing, whatever the
On the
appropriate-
15th.
Yeah.
On the 15th, relative to SQH.
All right, it's our future agenda item policy, which is 4
Right,
votes.
so, okay, so is there a second?
Second.
Okay,
yeah.
Ms.
Ms.
Okay, so
Fajardo,
do we
second.
have 4, are there 4 people who would vote for that? So 2 more. Okay, so you want me to call for a vote?
Call the roll, please.
Sure. Okay, so for passage of the motion to add the item as stated by Ms. Lindsay Opal, Mayor McComb is absent. Okay.
Ms. Huerta, can you read the motion?
My understanding, it's Ms. Lindsay Opal has requested a briefing on the May 15th agenda to discuss the SQH lease, and it was seconded by Ms. Fajardo. It's just further discussion on the lease prior to, there's an action item on May 22nd, but she was requesting more information, I guess for public purposes, just to kind of further explain why we're entering into the lease. Okay,
Call the roll, please.
so going back to the roll, Mayor McComb is absent. Mayor Pro Tem Smith?
Aye.
Councilmember Garza?
I'll have to abstain.
Abstain? Oh, yes, sir, that's right. Fajardo? Aye. Hunter?
Aye.
Lindsay Opal?
Aye.
Molina?
Aye.
Roy?
Aye.
And Rubio? Okay, so we do have the amount.
Thank you. I'd just like to take a brief minute to thank Ms. Huerta as I sat here as Mayor Pro Tem, the cheat sheet that you gave me. Any mistakes are my own, but it sure helped me a lot. Staff, always thank you. It's 2:30. Safe travels, good travels on there. Meeting adjourned.